interested.
Okay. Let's finish up by moving over to the Bellator side of things. Bellator with a milestone event this weekend going down October 7th at the Pechanga Arena in San Diego, California. Bellator 300, Nurmagomedov versus Primus. So we're going to talk about the top 3 bouts on this card, gentlemen. But before we do, of course, as always, are there any other fights or fighters that you just want to quickly highlight for the listeners?
Omar, go first.
Omar, go first before Mark mentions every fighter in the universe.
So there are a couple of names here that stand out to me right away. Kai Kamaka III on this card against Henry Corrales. That sounds like that's going to be a banger. We also have Sarah McMahon on this card against Leah McCourt. I'm not really sure what the hell the order of this card is, because Sarah McMahon doesn't look like she's anywhere near the main card. At least not according to SureDog. I don't know what it is on Bellator's website. But if she's not on the main card...
She's not.
That's
the fight I thought might get elevated to the main card once they lost the Bader fight. But like I said earlier, they haven't elevated any fight. It's just a 3-fight main card still on the website.
Yeah, that's a weird thing to do. I don't know why they would do it like that. But
yeah, I bet they'll still do it at some point.
Those are mainly the fights I'm looking forward to, and yeah, there's a lot of dudes on this fight though, man. A lot of dudes.
Mark?
Yeah, I agree. Those are definitely the best 2 undercard fights in my mind. As you said, Corrales and Kamaka is probably going to be a banger. McMahon and McCourt could actually end up deciding the next opponent for the winner of Cyborg and Zingano, especially if it's McMahon, because she'll have a nice little early streak in Bellator, and obviously she's a name. Another nice fight on this card is Romero Cotton welcoming Grant Neal down to middleweight. Grant Neal, former light heavyweight, moving down, the brother of Jeff Neal. So he'll fight Romero Cotton, who's looked very good. That's a good one. And then, yeah, some other quality fights on this card. So not the incredibly stacked undercard that we usually see from Bellator, but definitely solid.
This event will mark the Bellator's second visit to San Diego. You have to say it that way at least once.
Whale's vagina.
A Bellator Heavyweight World Championship bout between Ryan Bader and Linton Vassell was expected to headline this event. They met previously at Bellator 186 in 2017, where Bader won by knockout in the second round. However,
it sucks so much that that's the one that fell off, because like of all the title fights, it's the one that felt like a toss-up.
Totally.
Like, not saying any of these other underdogs can't win, but all these other ones are like, this person is the clear favorite. And in that fight, it was like, damn, I don't know. And, of course, that's the one we lose.
However, Vassell withdrew due to illness, and the bout has been canceled. As a result, a Bellator Lightweight World Grand Prix semifinal bout for the Bellator Lightweight World Championship bout between current champ Usman Nurmagomedov and the former champ Brent Primus is now the new headliner.
Oh, I thought they were always the main event. Were they not?
Probably was going to be Bader and Vassell, because Bader is Bader.
I thought it was always Usman. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, continue.
All right. Let's talk about, man, Bellator loves putting on these massive cards, man. It looks like 16 bouts. My God, they're trying to kill Michael C. Williams. Let's start with the opening bout of Bellator 300 in the flyweights division. Excuse me, opening bout of the main card, going down on Showtime and Paramount Plus. Liz Carmouche putting her women's Bellator flyweight title on the line against Ilima-Lei Macfarlane. Is it Macfarlane or Macfarlane?
Macfarlane.
Macfarlane, thank you. Liz Carmouche, Girl-Rilla, the 39-year-old out of San Diego, California, 19-7 as a pro, 8 knockouts, and she is undefeated thus far under the Bellator banner. 6-0 under Bellator, and has the title. She'll be standing across from Ilima-Lei Macfarlane, the Eliminator, 33 years old, also out of San Diego. 13-2 as a pro with 6 submissions on her record, riding back-to-back wins coming into this weekend. Most recently, Kana Watanabe back in April of this year. Omar, start us off. Give us your take and your pick of Carmouche versus Macfarlane.
So I think it's one of those fights that I guess really needs to happen. You know, all that movement inside of that division, and these two have not fought at this point. So I think it makes sense. I just think that Liz Carmouche is just a better fighter overall, so I don't really see this being something that Macfarlane can get done. So I'm going to go with Liz Carmouche here, man. And Liz Carmouche has been looking real nasty in Bellator. So I'm going to stick on that theme there, and I'm going to go with Liz Carmouche by TKO round 2 against Ilima-Lei Macfarlane.
Mark, you go.
Yeah, Liz is a pretty solid favorite. She's minus 280. Ilima-Lei is plus 215 as the dog. They're the same height. Carmouche has a 2-inch reach advantage. These two are good friends. They've trained together for a while. They've always mentioned this fight as a possibility ever since Liz came to Bellator, but had said that it was one that would need to be for a title. Circumstances have finally dictated that making sense, and now they've got just that. And you could see that they're friends. I don't know if anyone saw the first face-off today, but like Ilima-Lei ran out at her like super aggressive and got in her face, and they were like cracking up about it. So obviously they get along very well, but they will throw down here. As for the fight, I agree with Omar. I don't think it's all that competitive, which is crazy because Carmouche is 39 and Macfarlane is 33. But I actually feel like it's Liz who has much more left at this point. And who always had more, if we're being honest. You know, Ilima-Lei had her nice run in Bellator, but I don't think the competition at the time when she was champion stacks up to what Liz has been dealing with for years and years and years. And I just think Liz has her outgunned mainly everywhere. I mean, maybe range striking is maybe the one place Liz does not, but I think she's just going to outwork her all fight, especially in the clinch. I could see this thing end in a variety of ways, but I'm going to say it's some type of situation where Liz is bullying her a bit on the ground and Macfarlane leaves herself open for some type of sub. So I will say Liz Carmouche, late round 2 submission.
We are unanimous. I'm also going to go with the vet and still Liz Carmouche. I think she's just too tough, too well-rounded. Give me Liz Carmouche by UD to defend her Bellator Women's Flyweight title.
Thank God there's only 2 more fights. Our boy Omar's falling asleep over there.
Bro,
Hard.
drink
Real
some
hard.
Ovaltine and get it
Get it
together.
together. The fucking comments are going to yell at you.
Dude.
You suck my ass.
Okay. We're about to talk about Cris Cyborg, bro. Show some respect. All right. Cris Cyborg taking on Alpha Cat Zingano. Cyborg, the 38-year-old out of Brazil. 26-2 with 1 no contest. What a fucking career. 20 of her 26 wins have come by way of knockout. She's also thus far undefeated under the Bellator banner. She's 5-0 under Bellator. Most recently defeating Arlene Blenko back in April of 2022. So she hasn't appeared in about a little over a year. Cat Zingano getting her crack against Cyborg, Alpha Cat. 41 years old, out of Broomfield, Colorado. 14-4 with 9 finishes, riding a 4-fight win streak, and also undefeated under the Bellator banner. Mark, start us off this time. Give us Omar, you're killing me, bro. Your fucking eyes. You're fucking. Ay.
That's a fucking joke.
Mark, just
Lord.
talk.
I'll yell into the mic. Cris Cyborg, minus Mike's lost it. Cris Cyborg is a minus 600 favorite. Don't worry, people. I'll hold this show together. minus 600 favorite. Cat Zingano is plus 400, which feels about right. 2 inches of height and 1 inch of reach on the side of Cyborg, so they're pretty similar sized women. Finally, we get the most obvious featherweight title fight that Bellator can make. For a bit there, it seemed like maybe we'd never see it. But despite the fact that Cat is 41 years old and Cyborg is 38 for that matter, at least we get to see it now. I'm glad we're getting it. But don't get it twisted. Despite being 38, Cyborg is still the best 145-pound woman on the planet. I guess Larissa Pacheco may have something to say about that. I do hope we get to maybe settle that one day, but that's for another day. This fight is interesting because of two things. Cat Zingano is capable of eating some shots, and Cat Zingano can cause a lot of grappling problems. If she could ever get on top of Cyborg, she can really be nasty with her grappling and her elbows and little shots that she sneaks in on the ground, and she could really be a factor there. But I just don't think she's the requisite level of athlete to trouble Cris Cyborg, and I think she's going to end up getting frozen in some exchanges and getting hurt. So I'm going to say Cris Cyborg round 2 TKO.
Omar?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I also think that if this was the Cris Cyborg from like prior to the UFC, where she was before she got knocked out, when she was a little bit more reckless and a little bit more, kind of out there, I actually think Cat Zingano might have had a better shot. But we've seen a really measured Cris Cyborg over the last few years, very content to be in there, just picking people apart. Isn't necessarily trying to murder people the same way that she used to. It's kind of like if they die, they die, but it's not the same type of I'm trying to kill you within 60 seconds, which was kind of the defining factor of a lot of the fights in her career. So I think that probably lends to a rougher night for Zingano, for being honest. So I'm also going to go with Cris Cyborg here. I think there will be a KO. I think it'll come later in the fight once it starts to wear on Zingano because she is tough. So I'm going to go with the third round KO or TKO, I should say, for Cris Cyborg.
Yeah, I agree. Cris Cyborg, she can be 60 years old, and I'm still going to be picking her to just truck girls in whatever promotion. So give me Cris Cyborg.
Facts.
I'll take a round. Give me round 1 knockout. Let's go.
There we go. We got round 1, 2, and 3. Look at us. Nice.
Okay, main event
4.
time.
Lock it up.
Main event time for Bellator 300. Lightweight title bout as part of Bellator's Lightweight World Grand Prix. Usman Nurmagomedov putting his belt on the line against Brent Primus. Is it Primus or Primus? I'm second guessing myself.
Primus.
I'm wrong. Either way. Okay, Nurmagomedov, the 25-year-old out of Dagestan, Russia, 17-0 as a pro. Only 3 of his wins have gone to the scorecards. 6 submission victories, 8 knockout victories. He has been with Bellator since 2021, of course, undefeated under Bellator. He's the reigning lightweight world champ, most recently choking out Benson Henderson back in March of this year in round number 1. He will be standing across from Brent Primus, the 38-year-old out of Portland, Oregon, 12-3 as a pro, with 8 finishes, 6 of them submissions. Most recently coming off of a nice unanimous decision victory over Mansour Barnaoui back in May of this year. Omar, start us off. We're going to go out strong, baby. You should take in your pick.
I have no intention of picking against Usman Nurmagomedov. Not this lifetime or anytime soon. I also think that, for those of you who don't know, could have added this to the sphere maybe, but it was a small little tidbit. Cain Velasquez got permission to corner Usman Nurmagomedov. So he will be there. Yes, he will be there. And it just seems like the cards are falling for Usman here. Seems crazy to pick against him. From a technique standpoint, I would say the wrestling probably favors Usman in this as well. Brent doesn't really do too much other than wrestle. I don't trust his striking all that much. And so if we're going for wrestling, I'm going with Usman every day of the week. So give me Usman by unanimous decision. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if he chokes out Brent Primus, though.
Okay. Let's see.
You were on, Michael?
Yeah, Mark, you go.
You ready for these odds?
Oh, this one's got to be a little wild, especially against Brent Primus. I would imagine Usman is probably a 600 favorite.
Triple it and then add some.
Holy shit.
Minus 1950. Basically call it 2,000. Brent Primus is plus 950. So basically plus 1,000. Basically minus 2,000 plus 1,000. This is what we're talking about here.
Wow.
Jesus.
That's fucked up, actually.
Yeah. I wonder what it started at and if money just poured in on Usman or if it was always this wide. I don't know, but that's crazy lines. So, yeah, for the fight. 1 inch of height and 1 inch of height for Usman, but 1 inch of reach for Primus. It's kind of interesting to me because obviously I get Usman being a huge favorite, but man, Brent Primus is not an easy man to fight. Like, there's the one time he got finished a couple fights ago by Alexander Shabley, which was a body shot that just caught him perfect. But aside from that, he's a really hard guy to finish or even to clearly beat. And he's a guy who never stops coming. He showed that against Barnwey. He's relentless in his grappling, both offensively and defensively to reverse positions. He'll stick to you. He'll try to use that pressure to his advantage, control you. He's just not an easy day in the office. So those odds being that big is a little odd to me. With that said, if what we get on Saturday is like a masterclass from Usman Nurmagomedov, my view of him is going to skyrocket just because of what I just said, that I feel like Primus is a hard guy to go masterclass on. But we may, man, because Usman is pretty good. He's 17-0. He's obviously undefeated. He's looked unbelievable thus far. And, of course, for the pick, I do have to go with him. I don't think Brent Primus is the guy to change that. And that's mainly because of similar things to what Omar said. I think Usman can absolutely hang in the grappling and maybe even slicker than Brent Primus in that department. He's probably not as clingier and sticky as Primus, but I think he's slicker and can maybe catch something more than Primus can catch something. So I think they're pretty comparable there, and then that leaves the striking where I just think Usman is levels above. I think the range striking is going to be a real problem for Brent. He will walk forward, so maybe he can change some things, but in the end, I think we're talking about a tough challenger who's just not on the same level as the champion. So I think Usman will show that, and I'm going to say round 3 TKO.
Boom.
Man, how can you pick against Usman Nurmagomedov, man? He's like, he fights perfectly. He's undefeated, 17-0. Not
such a good summary of him. He fights perfectly.
Thank you.
Like, that's really that. Yes.
Yeah, he's just like untouchable, man. Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to finish Primus. I'll say round 4 TKO as well. And that being said.